Breaking news.
6 people shot and killed in one incident.
A gunman goes on a rampage.
Numerous crime scenes.
The investigation continues. Why are 6 people dead?
These are not random shootings.
Tonight, team coverage, a Bakersfield mass murder. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Tammy Melchuk. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood said it. It's our new national normal. And this afternoon, mass murder came to Kern County. 6 people died in a 15-minute shooting spree in a rural corner of Bakersfield. Initial investigation indicates a domestic violence massacre. The killer is among the dead, as is his wife and 4 others. We have team coverage tonight. 17's Karen Waugh with how the mass murder unfolded. Amber Frias with reaction from a neighbor of 2 of the victims. And Aton Wallace talks with people near the 4th crime scene. We begin now as 17's Karen Waugh live on Breckenridge Road with the latest. Karen?
Good evening, Tammy. We have 1 shooter, 5 locations, and 6 people dead. A series of chaotic events, one after the other. I'll bring you through the timeline. It started at 5:20 Wednesday with shots fired at a trucking business on Manuel Boulevard. That's near Weed Patch Highway and Highway 58. Sheriff Donnie Youngblood says a husband and wife went to the business. Inside, the husband shot a man and his wife. Another man walked into the business. The killer chased that person down to Miller Drive, where he shot and killed him. Next, the killer drove to a home on Breckenridge Road, where he shot a 4th and 5th person. The killer then drove to Fillmore Street near Pioneer Drive, where he hijacked a car. The killer drove to Edison Highway, where he shot himself in the chest and died after being confronted by a sheriff's deputy. Sheriff Youngblood says deputies from every division of his department are involved in this investigation. They'll be here on scene all through the night and well into tomorrow.
Where we go from here is trying to find out why this started and why so many people, so many players involved in the connection, because obviously these are not random shootings.
The 6 people dead include 5 victims and the suspect himself. They were 4 men and 2 women. The sheriff's department has recovered the firearm and the stolen car, and they're currently investigating the connection between the events. If you have any information involving this investigation, you're urged to call KCSO at 391-7500. Reporting live in Southeast Bakersfield, I'm Karen Waugh, 17 News.
As Karen reported, this all started inside and around several businesses. The sheriff says there are more than 24 witnesses to interview about this shooting. Let's go live now to 17's Amber Frias, who has that part of our coverage tonight. Amber?
Tammy, the community here is still very shooken up. We spoke to a neighbor who knows the family. He tells us they were good people and that it was very surprising to him to hear any sort of problem coming from their home. He says that today after 5 p.m. is when he heard yelling. Shortly after, he heard 2 gunshots. He tells us he believes it was the parents who were shot. He said their 4 kids lived at the home with them, along with who he believes is their grandpa.
They were saying they were having an argument over there. They were having a little disagreement, and that's when they saw him pretty much saying, if you don't get out the way, you're going to be involved too, and that's when it happened.
Police have confirmed that one of the victims was male and the other female, but they have not released any other information. We will continue to keep you updated as we continue to learn more on the situation. For now, I am Amber Frias reporting live from Southeast Bakersfield.
Amber, thank you. And 17's Aton Wallace has been at the 4th crime scene. That's where a woman and her child were carjacked. He joins us live now from Southeast Bakersfield with that part of our coverage tonight in what turned out to be the final scene before the suspect shot himself to death. Aton?
Tammy, I should tell you right off the bat, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood confirms no one was injured on the 8100 block of Fillmore Avenue, but that is the location where the suspect carjacked a mother and her child. We do not know the identities of that mother or her child, nor do we know their ages, but the big news tonight, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood confirming they are unharmed tonight. Now, as we take a look at some video filmed on the 8100 block of Fillmore Avenue within the last hour, you can see it was still a very active crime scene. Police had about a block of Fillmore Avenue blocked off. We spoke with two neighbors who lived just down the street, and while they did not directly see what happened to the mother and her child, they say they're scared.
Sad to know that kind of stuff can happen every day, anytime, whenever, you know.
It's scary. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like I said, we could walk around this neighborhood and not be afraid. And now it's getting to where you can't walk around anymore.
And take a look at this. Just as we were leaving the scene, a tow truck pulled up and took away this white Nissan Altima. Sheriff's deputies would not confirm why the car was being towed away or why it was on Fillmore Avenue in the first place, but we can tell you as soon as the Nissan was towed away, all the deputies left the scene and took down the yellow tape. So perhaps the car was of importance to the investigation. But tonight, the big news at the 8100 block of Fillmore Avenue, Sheriff Donnie Youngblood confirming mother and child are unharmed this evening. We're live here in Southeast Bakersfield. Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
And be sure and stay with 17 News throughout the night. We, of course, will bring you updates on our social media pages and also on our website, kget.com. And also on 17 News at sunrise, we will have the latest coverage.
A busy day weather-wise as the water fire scorched 75 acres at the base of the Grapevine, and we saw flumes of smoke continuing to work on through that area. Now tonight, the smoke, of course, is out of here and that fire contained. We are continuing to watch, though, as a trough of low pressure is working on through, and that's going to bring a big cool down, a much awaited one, as we head into the next couple of days. Already, temperatures are running 5 degrees cooler at this time tonight as compared to last night. 73 in Bakersfield, 70 in Lake Isabella, looking at mid-60s from Buttonwillow over to Wasco at 72, 76 then in Fraser Park, 59 in Tehachapi. Tomorrow morning starting out a little bit cooler in the lower 60s. By noon, 77, and at 5 o'clock, 83. So we will be in the 80s tomorrow versus those 90s that we have been seeing in the mountains, starting out cool in the 50s, 70s on the way. Much more on the big cool down in Pinpoint Weather.
A Kern County firefighter was injured battling a large fire at the base of the Grapevine this afternoon. It started with a vehicle fire around 1:30 near DeGier Canyon. Fire officials say while fighting the fire that spread to nearby brush, the firefighter was hit by a rolling rock. He was airlifted out of the area by helicopter and is being treated at a local hospital for moderate injuries. The fire burned just under 100 acres by 6 p.m. Two former Kern County Sheriff's deputies are out of jail tonight following a bail hearing this afternoon. Logan August and Derek Penny face new charges related to the alleged theft and sale of marijuana. Penny's portion of the hearing was quick and easy. Prosecutor Garrett Rice said he was given proof that Penny's family would provide the funds for bond, and that was that. August's attorney, David Torres, pleaded with Judge Gerald Turner to lower his client's bail, saying the former deputy has quite a bit of debt. Torres also spoke of August's character, saying he mentors others through church, is a devout Christian and devoted family man. The judge said considering all the facts, he does not feel that August is a threat to public safety or a flight risk. The judge lowered his bond from $285,000 to $100,000. According to the Tulare County Jail website, Penny and August are both out of custody tonight. They have their next court appearance scheduled for November 28th. A kickoff celebration was held tonight in downtown Bakersfield for Hispanic Heritage Month. The Kern County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce hosted its 8th annual event at Metro Galleries. There was music, food, and folklorico dancing. Sunday marks 207 years of Mexico's independence from Spain. In 1988, President Ronald Reagan proclaimed Hispanic Heritage Month in the U.S. from September 15th until October 15th.
We really wanted to bring this to Bakersfield because of the population of Hispanics in Kern County. We felt that there was a really big need to really embrace the cultures, not only for Hispanics, but other cultures as well.
The festivities continue this weekend. The Animo Theater Company is bringing El Braquero, a mariachi opera, to CSUB this Friday night. And the annual celebration known as El Grito de Dolores is this Saturday from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Liberty Bell in downtown Bakersfield. Our sister station Telemundo will broadcast it live beginning at 6 p.m. Still to come on 17 News at 11, are you doing enough to prevent germs from spreading?
Everywhere we are, we're exposed to germs.
Find out the unexpected places you'll find bacteria when 17 News at 11 continues.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News with Tammy Melchuk and Chief Meteorologist Alyssa Carlson with your Pinpoint Doppler forecast. Nick James with 17 Sports. This is 17 News at 11.
All right, we are back checking out that forecast. Of course, Hurricane Florence, but then here at home, it's very nice. Alyssa?
Yes, here we're really calm. Looking at 73 degrees right now. Humidity values at 28%. The dew point's at 38. So both of these are still pretty low, even at this time of night. Winds out of the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Windy conditions sparking that fire earlier today and around the 11:30 to noon-ish hour, where you were looking then at winds gusty enough to spread a car fire up the mountains there near the base of the Grapevine. So that's what happened. And tomorrow afternoon, we'll be watching for yet more windy conditions out into eastern Kern County. So keep that in mind. Still a windy go of it. We have a system that's bringing in some cooler air. It's kicking up those winds along the mountains, and we could again see that high fire danger with low humidity values still in place, as well as, of course, those winds. So that's just enough to potentially cause a wildfire. Meanwhile, on the East Coast, we are still talking about Florence, and the update tonight is that this hurricane is now a Category 2. Still, it is a very strong and powerful storm. We are looking at winds at 110 miles per hour, and this will make its way most likely toward Wilmington, North Carolina, as we head into tomorrow night. So we'll be watching here for into Thursday and Friday for that opportunity for a lot of rain making its way toward the Carolina coastline, and then the system kind of stalls out, almost like Harvey did offshore, and we expect to see more rain continuing to just funnel on in, especially into South Carolina. How much rain, you ask? Well, let's take a look at the Futurecast models. Some areas could receive upwards of 24 inches or more, and especially along the coastline, so the Outer Banks. And then as we head, of course, inland, looking at heavier amounts making their way now all the way back toward Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina, this is 4 inches or more, but upwards here of a foot or two of rain, working mainly through North Carolina and then extending into South Carolina. So we are certainly going to continue to keep an eye on the strength of that system, and just because it has weakened a little bit does not mean that residents should let up their guard. It's still going to be potentially catastrophic there. As we look at the forecast for us, well, a little bit calmer tomorrow. We still have that fire danger in place. So other than a cool down, we will continue to watch for high fire danger, unfortunately, but the cool down is welcome. Here comes the low. And then into the weekend, too. We don't have that ridge around until maybe midweek next week, and then we'll heat it back up again. Lows tonight will be slightly cooler than last night, lower 50s in the outlying areas. And then tomorrow, 83 in Bakersfield, 83 in Delano, 80 in Buttonwillow, 82 in Taft, 82 in Maricopa. In the mountains tonight, we'll be in the 40s in Frazier Park and Pine Mountain Club, 69 degrees in Pine Mountain Club tomorrow, 78 in Frazier Park, 75 in Bear Valley, 73 in Tehachapi, 83 in Wofford Heights, 85 in Weldon. In the desert, lows in the 50s, highs in the mid-90s. How about that 17-day planner? Well, for the start of the Great Kern County Fair next Wednesday, 91, and then maybe 99 by next Friday. So we'll keep an eye on that. There may be one more triple digit in our forecast before we're done with those. Moderate air quality at 61, but look at this. Lower 80s in the meantime for Thursday and Friday, mid 80s for the weekend. Next week, lower 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. In the mountains, 70s on the way, 80s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lows in the lower 50s. Kern River Valley, mid 80s, and lows will be in the 50s, highs in the 90s next week. So welcome relief on the way for Thursday and Friday, and then even into the weekend now. Mid-80s in the valley. That does not look too bad at all.
Yes, we deserve it.
We do, after that hot summer that we've seen.
Yes, all right, thanks. Well, still ahead, cold and flu season are upon us. Find out what you can do to prevent the spread of germs. Still ahead, but first, here's Nick with a preview of sports.
Thank you, Tammy. Big time boxing in Bakersfield with a BHS product headlining the event. I'll give you the details after the break, and a stellar match at the Snow Dome tonight with Clovis facing Garces, who won this match. Sights and sounds next up in sports. Welcome back to sports. An outstanding volleyball match on paper this evening over at Garces. Rams hit the hardwood 7-3, Clovis 9-2. Two schools combined for a 16-5 record, but something had to give tonight. Garces at home, they had a good game, losing the first match or the first set. Then they went on to win the second one, picked this one up in the third set. Now Perry Starkey led the Rams with 15 kills tonight. She was eating, also had 13 digs. Baylor fans in Bakersfield supporting the Big 12. More from Garces as they started to assert themselves in the third. Layla Green smacks one home. She had 13 kills and 16 digs to lead the team. Starkey serving. It's not how hard you hit it, but it's where you hit it. It grazes net, falls in for the point for the Rams. Clovis serving. Allie Deese rising like yeast. Killing me softly like I'll be sure. Kills it down. She had 12 on the night. Rough night for the Clovis Cougars. Talking shop, trying to figure it out during a timeout. Then Dees again gets some. The three seniors accounted for 40 kills tonight, winning this one in 4 games.
We played well in that game, and we didn't let them breathe a little bit, you know, so we kept the pressure on them.
We had a lot of chemistry, and we were just as a family. We have 8 seniors, so we've known each other for a while, played each other with each other, so we're a pretty good family now.
We have a lot of team chemistry since we were playing since we were freshmen, so it really plays to our advantage, and it's really fun to be out there.
I think playing against Clovis and getting this win is going to be big with reminding ourselves that we can work hard and we can get there if we all work together.
Garces will host Frontier on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, first league match of the season. Boxing time in Bakersfield at Stramler Park on Saturday, September 29th. Beat the Streets is what is being called. Former BHS driller and Police Activities League product Miguel Contreras is the featured night. He's going to be boxing that night on Saturday night in the featured main event. Contreras now a pro, and in April when I saw him last at the Battle of the Badges, he was 4-0 at that point in his career. Nancy Preciado caught up with the former driller and his trainer.
Just the opportunity to main event my own home city, you know, born and raised here. It's just an extreme blessing to be able to main event here. And I think that most of all is just so humbling.
Whole different fighter than when I met him about 2 years ago. He's sharper, he's stronger, he's faster, he's smarter, he's motivated. I see a lot of passion and hunger in his eyes.
Jonathan Salcedo keeping it 100 again September 29th at Stramler Park. That would be the fights start at 6 o'clock. General admission $35, ringside $60. Going over to football now. A lineman's dream is to catch a pass in a game. But what if you're very athletic and you're a lineman who has hands and you're playing in an all-star game? Flashback to May at the U.S. Army All-Star Bowl game at Rabobank Arena. Opening series of the game. Coach Bandy calls a blocking play. Nope, it's psych. Throws it out to Joshua Ubeda. Braden Wingo, nice pass in the flat, and Ubeda does the rest in front of his family and friends. And I caught up with him after he scored that touchdown. That was a few months ago, but I caught up with him at practice the other day. Was he scared that he was going to drop the rock? And this is what he told me.
I knew I wasn't going to drop the ball. I mean, we ran that route a couple times in practice, and I knew I had to score. I knew my older cousins wouldn't have let me hear the end of it if I didn't.
His primos were going to give him a hard time. Good thing he caught the rock. Ubeda's playing offensive line for BC right now. He's playing guard, actually. In high school at Highland, he went both ways, playing offensive line and defensive line. Going over to the NFL now after getting hurt on Sunday Night Football against the Bears and throwing 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to beat the Bears after trailing 20-3 in the fourth quarter. Aaron Rodgers said today he's got a sprained knee and he's very sore, and they are hosting the Vikings on Sunday in a huge NFC North game, and the Vikings defense is very stingy. They picked off Jimmy Garoppolo 3 times on Sunday in their 24-16 win against the 49ers, and Rodgers is day-to-day for now. Tammy, that is all bad because A-Rod is my fantasy quarterback, so I'm hoping he goes, but if he doesn't go, yeah, there's a long season ahead, so maybe he needs to chill out and just rest up.
Yeah, why don't you call him?
Yeah, I'll just be like, I'll take this L for you, A-Rod, as long as you come back later on.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
Well, still to come, you may not be able to see them, but you know they're everywhere. You can learn a little bit about germs that are lurking on you and in places you may not think about when we come back. Well, there's no escaping them. Germs, they're where you work, where you live, where you play, and there are some that will make you sick. As we make our way toward the cold and flu season, 17's Amber Frias found that even some items here in our newsroom carry some potentially dangerous bacteria.
Everywhere we are, we're exposed to germs.
Germs live everywhere. You can find them in the air, on food, on plants, everywhere.
There's no way of staying away from them. What we can do is just kind of prevent the transmission of different pathogens that would be harmful to us.
They say be conscious of what you're touching so viruses don't make their way inside you. We shared some of our most commonly used items with the Public Health Department, and they put them under the microscope. All items were tested using 2 different Petri dishes. The red dish was a general medium intended to grow anything.
So those could be, respiratory or skin flora or things that would grow in other environments.
The blue dish was intended to reflect, if any, gut bacteria. This includes fecal bacteria.
We were able to see that there are different types of bacteria that grew, but nothing that looks as though they came from the gut, which is, I'm looking at the purple plates over there, but I don't think there was anything alarming from those plates.
The globs of growth are gross, but they tell a tale, defining different types of bacteria. Hernandez tells me that bigger blotches indicate an organism that won the battle between competing bacteria.
We have germs that can be beneficial, and we have ones that can be harmful. And so what we hope is that the good germs outcompete the bad germs.
How should we limit the bad germs around us? Clean. And make sure you know how to properly use cleaning products.
What a lot of people don't realize is that most disinfectants have a contact time. It will say, leave on surface for 1 minute, for 5 minutes, some say 10 minutes. What usually happens is most of the time is we go and we spray something on the table and then we wipe it right up. And so we didn't give it enough time to actually kill what we were hoping it to kill.
17's Amber Frias reporting we are surrounded, but as the health department reminds us, by keeping our hands and surroundings as clean as possible, we can help defend ourselves from the dreaded cold and flu season. Time to wipe down the set here. Well, what were your favorite games growing up? Tonight we turn back time and find out which classic toys and games have made it into the Hall of Fame. Next. Finally tonight, finalists for this year's Toy Hall of Fame class have been announced, and some of the finalists may not surprise you. The Strong's National Toy Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York announced the 12 finalists: American Girl dolls, Chalk, Chutes and Ladders, Magic 8 Ball, Fisher-Price Corn Popper, oh, I love that thing, Uno, and a few more. Each of the toys represents different styles and different eras, but they all have one thing in common: bringing smiles to faces both young and old. Fans will be able to vote for their favorite finalists through September 19th at toyhalloffame.org. The 3 toys that receive the most votes from the public will be submitted and will join the other top 3 submissions by members of the National Selection Advisory Committee. This is serious stuff. The final 2018 toy inductees will be announced on November 8th. I didn't realize there's a whole process.
Okay, there's no Connect.
I love the popcorn popper.
No Connect 4, no Connect 4, no Trouble, the game Trouble,
yeah,
and no
Monopoly.
Yeah,
might already be in there though. You never know. We gotta check. Yeah,
that's true.
Okay.
The corn popper, though, I love it.
No, Trouble, the game Trouble, the popper,
but they
and
already
Monopoly.
had American Girl dolls in there, and Elmo.
I know. Yeah, there's probably a long list of what's already in there.
I know. Alrighty, temperatures tomorrow, not quite as hot, 83. Enjoy it. Open up the windows in the morning. It should be much cooler tomorrow morning, especially in the outlying areas. And then next Wednesday's the fair, 91 on that day. That's not too bad. In the mountains, still breezy, still high fire danger, otherwise 73. In the Kern River Valley, 83 tomorrow and breezy. And then for the weekend, mid-80s, looking great through the weekend. And then temperatures in the 90s next week. So
that Friday for football is looking great, Alyssa.
It is.
That is amazing right there.
Compared to what we have seen.
Oh my goodness, I've been out there cooking.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Stay tuned to 17 News for continuing coverage of Bakersfield's mass murder, the latest on Sunrise. And Sheriff Donnie Youngblood will be live on the Today Show tomorrow morning here on TV 17. Good night.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app in the spirit of the Golden Empire. 17 News.